Hello, thank you for joining us today on our Points of Interest show. My guest today, I'm Janelle Wallace, by the way, City Manager for the City of Mount Rainier, and I have with me the Assistant Director of Public Works, Michael Barnes, the Administrative Resource Officer, Ruth Sandy. And today we're going to talk about trash pickup, recycling, yard waste, and bulk trash, the services that are typically provided by our Public Works Department. And we're going to start with Monday because that's the beginning of the week. And on Mondays, we typically provide yard waste. I'm sorry, is it yard waste? It's yard waste and bulk trash.
Yes.
All right, so let's start with yard waste. What typically consists of yard waste when we pick that up on Mondays?
Well, that consists of branches, limbs, leaves, and definitely no lumber.
And why is it that we don't pick up lumber?
Because that's a byproduct, and that's treated.
It's treated wood.
It's treated wood, right?
Okay, and so, but typically, where does that go? If a resident does have lumber, and you're talking about lumber as like building materials.
Yes.
All right. So, what should they be doing with that, as opposed to putting it with other yard waste?
Make a bulk trash appointment.
Okay, and what's the number for bulk trash appointments?
301-985-6558, selection 1.
Selection 1, and let's repeat that for our viewing audience.
301-985-6558, selection 1.
And the bulk trash, which we provide that service on Mondays as well.
First and third Mondays of the month.
Okay.
By appointments only.
By appointments only, which means they have to call that number that you just mentioned, and they have to call it, and the message should be left on that line prior to 12 noon on Friday.
The Friday before the pickup day.
Okay, and then you retrieve all the messages, make a list for the crew to go out and pick up all the bulk items.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, when do people...
And they need to call by Friday, that Friday before the pickup.
Right, the 12 noon.
Right.
Because it has to give Ruth time to retrieve all the messages, make a list for the crew that are going out to pick up the items. Now, when does a person have to have special bulk pickup where you all won't pick it up on that Monday, but you pick it up at a special time?
Well, if they call us and they say they need a pickup before the bulk date, then we'll go out and see how much bulk they have, and the minimum fee for a special pickup is $50.
Okay, and how many free bulk pickups do we provide? Is it 6, I believe?
6 per year. Also, if they have bulk and it's over the 3 cubic yard limit, we're not going to pick it up because it's over the limit, and therefore we will give them an estimate, and that's going to be a special pickup.
Okay, now explain. I know what 3 cubic yards are, but for our residents, tell them what 3 cubic yards are and why we have that rule.
What we go by is 1 room of furniture is 3 cubic yards.
And 3 cubic yards typically is the back of the packer.
Right.
So if it's larger than 3 cubic yards, we charge them a fee?
Yes.
Okay. And so how do you assess that fee?
The minimum fee is $50 per cubic yard. And so when you're over, the assistant director or the director, Mr. Luther Smith, will come out, they review the items, and they will give you a cost. So minimum 50, you can go all the way up to 200, depending on how many items you have out there.
Okay, so when you say, Mr. Barnes, about the room, the furniture, a room full of furniture, is
one regular size room of furniture, we go up to 3 cubic yards.
For example, a sofa and a chair and maybe a small table.
Right.
Okay, you consider that
3 cubic yards.
Okay. All right, so we've talked about the bulk pickup and the number that people have to call. And so as long as they call by that deadline, which is 12 noon on Friday, and as long as they understand about the amount that they can put out, we will pick that up.
Yes, be mindful that if you have lawnmowers, make sure it's drained of gas. If you have paint cans, it must be dried old paint. it cannot have any residual liquid paint in the cans. Those are considered hazardous materials, and the city will be charged if we take them to the dump.
Okay, so
But
let's say I have some paint cans. I have paint cans, but the paint isn't dried up, and it's just a little bit in there. You know, we've used the can. Then what do?
Residents are asked to take them to Bronx Station landfill. The address is 11611 White House Road, Upper Marlboro, Maryland 20774.
Okay, since we have our phone lines ringing and they're kind of interfering with that, would you repeat that number for our audience?
Any hazardous waste must be taken to Bronx Station landfill. The address is 11611 White House Road, Upper Marlboro, Maryland 20774.
Now, an individual can take that themselves.
Yes.
Okay, and what else is it that we don't take that people typically will have mixed with yard waste or they have with bulk?
We don't take any construction
And why is
products
that?
that's concrete because actually it doesn't break down. They have their own construction site from the trash dump that we take our trash.
Okay, so there's a separate
That's
facility.
a separate facility,
Separate
yes.
facility where a resident can take construction materials.
Right.
So you're talking about, as we mentioned earlier, about the treated lumber.
Right.
We're talking about, do we take drywall?
We do, as per the code, we should be charging a fee because it's construction debris, and as such, because of that, it goes, as he said, to a separate dump. And so we are charged additionally for the construction debris. As he says, it does not break down with the regular foodstuffs, so it goes separate. And for the past couple of years, we have not been charging. People put small bags.
Small.
Yeah,
amount.
when
They
it-
break it up really
They
small.
break it up. Okay.
Right.
So we have not actually, gone after people to charge.
Exactly. Okay. All right. So we don't take bricks. We don't
Right.
take concrete.
Concrete.
No ceramic tiles.
No ceramic tiles.
No
No
stones.
insulation.
No what?
No insulation.
No insulation. Okay.
Stones.
And no stones.
Stones. And no
Pavers.
dirt.
And no dirt. Definitely no dirt.
And
Okay.
no pavers.
And no pavers.
Right.
Okay. And so I think it would be helpful if we make a list of those items. Again, I know we've done this in the past, but obviously we need to repeat it.
Yes.
So we will make a list. We're going to run this taping on our cable stations, but we'll make a list of the materials that are not acceptable, and we'll put that in our newsletter, and we'll keep running that as an ongoing article as well.
Okay.
I think that will be helpful.
And for a reminder, December starts in the next couple weeks. And reminder, yard waste is now the second Monday only, by appointments only.
Now, that can be confusing for some of our residents. Why is it that we have a separate schedule or a different schedule for yard waste during this time of the year? And I think it's December
Because
through
it's
when,
the winter-
February?
yeah.
Right.
So
Okay.
it's the winter months, and during the winter months, no one is actually going to go outside and have, trim, cut grass.
It's not the growing season,
Right.
so we're not
So-
cutting grass, so you have less
Right. We have
yard waste
yeah.
services
Right.
during that month because it's not the growing season.
Right.
Okay. And so when will we start picking up Christmas trees for those that get large Christmas trees or holly or things like that?
Normally we set a date for January or February. Although we have residents putting out trees all
Till
the way down
April.
to April.
To April?
April.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, it's yard waste though, right?
No, we
the
can't put Christmas trees. They go separate.
That's why we have a
Oh,
separate.
okay. Explain that. I didn't know that was
Yes.
separate. Why is that?
I have no idea.
We have, no, but this is
But
just
it's a
the way. It's a
requirement.
requirement
It's a requirement by
for the
county.
yard waste plant.
Yes.
Okay.
We don't take the Christmas trees where we would take the regular tree trimming or grass trimming or the leaves.
And when you do put your Christmas trees out, they need to be clean from bulbs.
My goodness.
Don't put the
Don't
dressing-
So-
put the dresser, and it has been done.
So you're telling me people put out the
Yeah,
trees
like I
with the
said, the bulbs
decorations?
went bad.
Right.
Instead of taking them off, they just throw the
Oh
whole
my
thing.
goodness. Okay. This has been a learning experience for me as well. All right. Well, so let's talk about, okay, so that's Monday.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So now we're going to Wednesday, which is regular trash pickup. and what problems are we incurring with? I think I know what regular household trash is, which is normal, paper,
Right.
Food.
Well, we normally say
food items
out of your kitchen and your bathroom. Some
Okay.
people think regular household trash means anything I don't want. So it's
Okay.
trash.
All right. Okay. Before we get to recycling, so you're talking about bathroom tissue, facial tissue, garbage.
Right.
Food scraps.
Yes.
All of those kinds of things. Okay.
And I want to remind everybody, the law is, the code for the city is 33-gallon trash cans. I want to remind everybody.
Yes.
And you can have up to five cans
per household.
Yes.
And now we have people who are putting the trash in bags on the ground, and that's illegal as well.
Well.
It
Okay.
has to be in a watertight container, 33 gallons.
All right, and let's talk about why, I think people think that this is an undue hardship requiring them to put the trash in a container as opposed to just putting the bags out.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons, that I try to explain to people is that when you put the bags out, you exposing that to rodents and vermin because they
Right.
can tear the bags up. That's the reason for the containers.
Yes.
Well, let's talk about why we have the size limit. We've tried to explain this to a lot of residents that have the larger cans. They think that the larger cans, if they don't fill it up, shouldn't be a problem for our staff to be able to go in the can and just lift out the bag
I want to
and
give
put the
an
bag in the
example.
bag. Okay, very
I had
good.
a phone call, and this lady was very irate because she had it's only a little bag, and it was a really large trash can. And I said, okay, I'll come out and get it. I went out, and I put my hand down, and when you go down, your face is going down, and it was really.
Yeah, you fall.
Right.
You can
Yeah.
fall into the
But
can.
it's an unbearable scent. Remember, you
Oh,
have this,
that's right.
whatever you have in your can has been there for a week. And so when you say, oh, it's just one bag or two bags in a large can, the guys can just reach in and pull it out. We have over 900 homes, and just imagine the guys going into 500 trash cans to get those bags. So safeguard health-wise for the guys, please use the smaller cans. Not for the health, their backs. We have to remember some guys will not put their heads down in the trash can, so they prefer to lift. And this is going to have, on Thursday we have call-outs. So
Because they've strained their back.
in their back. So
Okay.
sometimes trash cans slip out of the guy's hands. One guy had his toe injured. So it's, if not for you, for the guys.
And also, I think the other thing that we need to mention is the larger cans are really made for the trash pickup trucks, that we don't have. They're made to roll. You roll them up to the can. I'm sorry, you roll them up to the
Automatic lift.
Yes, and they have an
Right.
automatic lift. They're not made for manual lifting, and even if they're not full, because a lot of people really think, well, that's just an unrealistic rule if I don't have it filled up.
Filled up.
And so, we realize that people have gone through an expense getting the larger cans.
apologize.
But, we ask people to, just call Public Works Department or call City Hall when they
Replacing trash cans.
don't understand what the
Yes.
rule
Rule
is
is.
and about replacing a can. Again,
And we are willing to work with people. If they need a little time to get a can, we'll work with you.
okay.
We give you an extension. Just call us and let us know. And some people wait until the guys do take the trash, and then they'll call. But just if you need time, we understand. Give us a call, and we let the guys pick the trash up until you can replace the cans.
Okay. So now let's talk about Fridays when we
I need to say one more thing about the trash.
Okay.
And another good thing, by having the smaller trash cans, they're easy to clean because it seems like the larger cans, people don't want to go through the trouble of reaching down trying to clean those big cans. And the smaller cans, the 33 gallons, a lot easier to clean, and it helps keep the rodents away because it won't have the smell. And another good thing is once you clean the cans, put a little bleach or ammonia at the bottom, and that deter and keep the smell down.
And I think you mentioned, we were having this discussion a couple of weeks ago. You were talking about how often people should really wash out their cans.
Yes.
Because we have some people that never wash
Wash
them out.
it.
I actually don't even know how often my husband washes our can.
Right.
I think I need to check on that.
Trash. After
It
trash.
should.
Once a week then?
Yeah, once a week.
Once a week.
Wow,
Once trash is
okay.
picked up, you just
Because then that keeps the odor down and,
Right.
and you know, okay. That's good to
the
know.
rodents look for, they smell,
Smell.
and so they follow the smell.
Mm-hmm.
So you're encouraging them to come to your property when you have all that nice smell that they look for.
Excellent, excellent. Okay.
And you find out that rodents have no problem eating through plastic. If they smell garbage, they'll eat right through the plastic, right at the bottom.
Okay. All right, well, let's talk about Fridays, which is recycling services, recycling pickup. And I think lately we've noticed that people are mixing recycling with the trash because
Right.
we're leaving the trash when they are not in the proper containers
Right.
on Wednesday.
Right.
So people are now throwing their recycling, mixing it in with regular trash, which, and I understand there's a new rule now in being imposed by the state
Yes.
and the county in terms of what can be taken to the recycling facilities.
Right.
So
And,
could you explain that?
well, for one, you can't put any recycle in the dark or white bags. It has to be either in clear bags or in our recycling bins. We have had a problem when we go dump the recycle and the bags tear up and we find a lot of trash, garbage, dirty plastic. All your plastic needs to be cleaned before you put it in the recycle. If you can't clean it, then it needs to go into the trash, not into the recycle.
So basically we're talking about contaminated items.
Items, yes.
The tuna can should be rinsed out.
Rinsed out.
You know, your ketchup and mayonnaise bottles.
Bottles.
You know, even the soda cans, just rinse them out really
Right.
quick. They really should be, everything should be really rinsed out before you put it in the recycling bin. And so what is the new rule that's going to happen now when you go to the recycling facility and they are mixed within the recycling acceptable items if it is found that some of those items are not acceptable?
Not only will we be fined, but we also have to stay there and pick all that,
Put it back in the
put it
Physically?
back in the truck.
Oh, my
Physically,
goodness.
yes.
Okay, so what are some of those items that people typically are mixing with recycling? Aluminum is accepted,
Yes.
like aluminum soda cans, tuna fish cans, water bottles, plastic water bottles, milk cartons and container bottles, uncontaminated cardboard, like don't put your pizza boxes
right.
into the recycling, but if it's cardboard where you had something shipped to you and it just said styrofoam or something like that in it, you can put that in. Styrofoam is not accepted, but you can take the styrofoam out and then just put the cardboard box.
Right. You
Okay.
can put the styrofoam in your trash.
The styrofoam goes in regular trash. Now, why is it that styrofoam is not a recyclable item that's accepted?
No, although it's a recyclable item, but we have no styrofoam recyclable plants in this area.
Oh, okay,
So,
okay.
and the reason given was it takes so much styrofoam to make 1 pound or 2 pound or ton or how they measure it, and because the facilities here cannot accept that amount before they can get to ship it out, no one takes it. The only place that do, if you find a shipping company willing to take back the styrofoam, you can take it to a shipping company, FedEx, UPS. They sometimes take back.
I see. Okay.
Take it back to them and they will reuse it.
Okay, so let's go over again what's acceptable in terms of recycling. It's the uncontaminated cardboard, it's plastic bottles, milk carton containers, aluminum,
All newspapers,
basically, magazines and newspapers. So what if someone has a box of old books that they're getting rid of?
They can put those out. Shredded paper, but it must be in clear bags.
Okay.
Those can go out.
All right.
Old phone books, office paper, junk mail, craft bags.
Now I know.
So we're gonna provide this list for all of our residents. We probably should do a mailing.
Yeah.
I would think to every homeowner, as well as put it in the newsletter, the message, and also run this show periodically on our cable stations. You think that will be helpful?
I believe it will be.
We hope so.
Okay.
Every
All
little
right.
bit
Anything
helps.
else you all want to bring up?
We did the paint cans already.
We did that.
Yes.
Yep.
We did the paint cans. You want to? You can re-mention it again.
Why
Oh.
I want to do a reminder of the paint cans, because we had an incident last Wednesday where we picked up trash. A paint can had paint. The guy, when he packed up the trash, his jacket, vest, and pants has paint, and because it was damaged uniform, the city has to pay to replace the uniform. So again, I want to remind you, if you have paint in the cans, please don't put the cans out. Call us and let us direct you on what you need to do.
But also, it could have been a problem with it if the paint had splattered in his face, or
right.
something. He would have
Yeah.
had to go to the emergency room and gotten received some treatment for that, right?
Another reminder for bulk trash: if you have wood, it must be cut 6 feet or under. We had one incident where someone had a long piece of wood. When we put it in the packer, Leroy Sammy was hit in the head when the wood was being crushed up. So please cut the wood 6 feet in length or lower.
And our yard waste, the limbs from trees or branches, don't they have to be in 4 foot,
So
tied in 4 foot
Yeah.
bundles?
Tie your bundles. If you have branches, you can tie them. If you can't tie them, please just stick them in the trash can. Don't put the lid on. We'll take it that way.
And we don't take tree trunks.
No tree trunks.
No
over
tree
6
trunks. People put tree
Six
trunks?
Yes. Over
Yes.
6
Oh my
inches in
goodness.
diameter, please do not put it. We cannot take it.
Oh my goodness.
What I advise the residents when they call in, put them out, put a note, free firewood. Someone would willingly take it. But please do not put those large items out. We're not going to pick it up.
So we're going to have the numbers that they need to call for bulk trash on the screen, as well as just the generic number to call Public Works. Miss Sandy is more than happy to help you with some of these answers to your questions. I think this has been informative.
We have one reminder.
Okay.
Leaf. We're doing leaf vacuuming right now.
Oh yes, let's
Yes.
talk about that.
Some people are just raking the leaves out. They don't care what's in the yard. We have to pick up plastic bottles,
Yes.
wood,
Bricks.
tree barks, bricks, and this
Rocks.
is
Tree
damaging-
what? Go back. Tree what?
Tree bark, like
Oh, bark.
the
Tree bark. Okay.
So we have to separate these from the. So when you're raking them out, I know you really want to get them out quickly. The other thing is, when you have to rake out, we say rake out by Sunday. You cannot wait until you hear the truck going down the other street and try to rake it out the next day. When we say Sunday, we don't have a specific day that will come to your address. So rake it out by that Sunday, and we have 2 weeks to pick it up. If we come down your street Monday and you put yours out Tuesday, we're not coming back to pick them up.
Okay, let's talk a little bit though about why there's, because this is not about you all just not wanting to go through the leaves. When glass and
We can't
bark
see.
and all this, it's
Right.
dangerous. It can
Yeah.
pop up in your eyes. But additionally,
It
doesn't that clog and
it-
break the
it
leaf
tears
pickup
the
machine?
machine.
Yeah, it tears the machine up.
Okay, and the
Yeah.
other thing is when it's rain, that's how we get behind in the leaf schedule
Right.
because the leaves are heavy, and when they're wet, they won't vacuum up
vacuum
into
up.
the hose. So that's why we don't pick it up after we've had
After
a lot
rain,
of
yes.
rain because the leaves are wet and the vacuum won't pick up the
Won't pick
leaves.
it up.
Right.
But all the other debris is supposed to go in the other items when
In
we
the
provide
yard.
that service,
Right.
not mixed up because it creates a safety
Yes.
hazard for our crews.
And then not all the time we can see it because the leaves are covering it, and sometimes it's when the suction, and then we actually
And then
have to
you hear it.
grab it like
Try to, yeah.
You all actually try to grab that
We
out?
have a brick,
Oh my goodness.
and that the propeller that crunches the leaves, that actually breaks the propeller.
We can break the
So
propeller.
that's a
The
$1,000 blade we have to replace,
Okay, $1,000 blade.
and it's actually over.
Okay, well, I don't think we can reemphasize that enough. That when you're raking
Right.
leaves out to the curb, they should be
Just leaves.
leaves,
Right.
not any other debris in it. Okay.
I got one thing. I wanted to let the residents know that we still have compost bins.
Yes. I
We
52.
have at
Please
least
come and get
Oh,
them.
about
very
50
good.
something
52.
52.
Please, it's only $20.
Okay. All right.
Oh,
and
one more thing.
what goes in the compost bins? Let's talk about that.
Leaves and your kitchen scraps.
Okay.
fruits. And it's good for your plants. It's good for your flowers, and you can put it around your trees before you put the mulch. So it gives your trees.
And by you talking about
fertilizer.
that, because I know our tree commission and our green team specifically really want people to get into this composting. So I think we need to have a follow-up show with some members of the green team so they can talk as well about the composting and why that's good for the soil and everything, as well as and coordinate those efforts with our Public Works Department, because they may have some suggestions or other things that our residents can do that can help you guys out, but then we're still preserving our planet. Okay.
And I want to make a plug for my electronic recycling event.
All right.
Please do not put televisions, stereos, computers, printers, anything electronic out with your bulk trash. We have an event on December 29th.
Yes.
It's 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Bring all your electronic items to 3715 Wells Avenue. Call me 301-985-6583. I'll remind you of the date. All electronic items, the old TVs. You got a new plasma TV for Christmas. Bring your old TV, your old plasma. Just bring it here on that day.
Cell phones,
cameras, lamps,
old computers,
anything electronic.
printers.
We'll take it. Just bring it here between 9 a.m. 1 to 1 p.m. on Saturday, December the 29th. We actually have them 4 times per year. It's every quarter, March, June, and September, December. The third Saturday, March, June, and September. But December, we wait until the Saturday after Christmas. Again, electronic event, Saturday, December 29th. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us, and we will follow up with another show about some of these services provided by our Public Works Department. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to contact anyone at Public Works or City Hall. The Public Works number again is 301-985-6583, and of course City Hall is 301-985-6585. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.